Hi, hello. I'm hair oiling. That's why my hair looks like this. I'm not bald, I swear. I have a show review for you, plus what I'm watching. So, I've only finished one show in the last, month since I made a YouTube video. Because most of the other shows I've been watching are either releasing episodes, new episodes every week, so I have to wait, or they're long shows. And I have a couple shows that are very long, so it's taking me a while. Okay. So the first show, also that was my chair. That was my chair. See, you hear it? Yeah, that was my chair. Anyways, the first show that I'm watching is called Attack on Titan. It's a very well-known anime. It's about this kid, Eren, who his life kind of gets obliterated by these monsters. They're called Titans. They're like giant humans. They're really freaky looking. I don't know, they're gross. And he basically, because his mom gets eaten by one of them, so disturbing when I tell you that's in the first episode. That's it happens literally immediately. And his life kind of just spirals after that. He's like, I'm gonna kill all the Titans. And it's basically just the world that he lives in. It's humanity's response to the Titans and how they're gonna defeat them and not die. That's the basic story. I don't like Eren as a character. I think he's so freaking annoying. He's so annoying. I'm so tired of him. But I like the show. It's 4 or 5 seasons, I think, so it's pretty long. I'm only on the 2nd season, but I'm still enjoying it. So yeah, it keeps me interested. Stuff keeps changing and happening. Okay, so the next show I'm watching is Hospital Playlist. I'm on the 2nd season. I don't know if I talked about this one before. I feel like I did, but basically it's just a slice of life story where it's just this a couple of friends that all work at a hospital, and their lives. That's pretty much the plot, and it's pretty interesting. I like it. I mean, I've obviously gotten to the 2nd season, so I obviously enjoy it. This show, so I just started this next show called Reply 1988. It's a very famous K-drama. I've heard for years people talk about it, and I just never watched it because it's really long. There's 20 episodes, and each episode is between an hour and 10-ish to an hour and a half. They're long episodes, and I just, at no point when I was thinking about watching the show I was like, I just don't want to sit here and watch a show that's that long. I just can't commit to it. And then literally within the last week or so, I was like, I'm just gonna start it, and I'm on episode 5. So I mean, I'm obviously enjoying it. This is what I gotta talk about this though. This show is literally the reason I wanted to make a YouTube video. The setup of the show is basically this, it's a couple different families that all live in this one neighborhood, and it's all most of the kids of the families that are friends, and they're kind of there from the time they're 18-ish till the time they're adults. It's just, so it just kind of takes them through their high school years and then into, college or whatever and beyond, and they're in love lives and jobs and just family relationships and just, it's just life, right? It's just a bunch of different things. I cannot stand some of the parents in this show, though. Holy cow, they are annoying. And I don't know if they're supposed to be. I don't know if they're supposed to be realistic. I don't know what the vibe of the show is technically supposed to be, but I cannot stand them. There's one couple specifically, the couple of the main, because one of the girls, one of the daughters of the families is kind of the main character. It's her, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's 4 other guys that are her friend. There's they're a little friend group, right? And then she has an older sister and a younger brother. And then one of the other friends has a younger sister. And then one of the other friends has an older brother. So it's most of them have a sibling. But they're the core, kind of core friend group. But her parents specifically, so she's kind of the main character. Oh, I hate them so much. Oh my gosh, I cannot stand them. They're so mean to each other. They're annoying. They don't get along. They're always whining and complaining about one thing being better. And the mom is always complaining about her husband being so awful. And then he's always complaining about this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I don't care. So I have actually gotten to the point where I'm skipping their conversations. I do not care. It is stressful to watch. That's another thing is the 2 sisters in the show really argue and fight a lot. And it's stressful. It stresses me out. I'm like, I need to skip these scenes. So there's parts of that I really don't like, and I don't know why the show went that direction where they don't get along. And also, okay, there's this whole other thing. Okay, so the main girl, Sun is her name. She doesn't end up with the guy that everyone thinks she's going to end up with, because there's clips in the show that have her as an adult with her husband, but we don't know who her husband is. We don't know which of the guys that she ends up marrying, right? So she ends up with I don't know how to say his name. He has one of those Korean names where I'm like, I have no idea. She ends up with one of these guys who's like in the show, but he doesn't feel maybe as like as main of a character, but that's who she marries, okay? But she has this like really long, they don't ever date, he never confesses, but there's like this other relationship with one of her other friends, Jung-hwan, who he never confesses. He never tells her he likes her until like the very end of the show. And I think he does it in some kind of roundabout way where he's not like directly actually confessing to her, but like in his own way, that's how he was like he's not like, because he says like, I like you, and then he like goes on this whole like tangent, but he says it in a way that's like, he is confessing, but he isn't. I don't know how to explain it. When I see that part, I'll actually be able to explain the context a little bit more. But basically, he just never tells her he likes her. But it's like this whole unrequited, it never truly happened. Nothing ever actually happened between them because he never did anything about it. And because I'm only on the 5th episode, I don't know if she ever likes him at any point. But because neither of them ever made a move, nothing ever happened. Like, they don't date at all throughout the whole show. But they are like kind of the like angsty couple of like, is it gonna be them? Like, there's all these cute moments, and there's like this whole scene where one of the things he says, he has like this whole tangent where he's like, did you ever realize how like I was always waiting for you for the bus, like to go on the bus together, like I waited an hour for you, and do you know sorry, my stomach just made a weird sound, I don't know if you could hear it. He's like, do you know what I did for you, kind of thing, like, which also I'm like, I don't know if he was being mean, like annoyed in that context, but I was like, you're the one that never told her. So, because going into this show, I know who she ends up with. Like, I know who she marries. The show's been out for years. I've seen the clips. I know. And also, to be honest, the actor that she ends up with and the character, I kind of like more than Jung-hwan anyways. So I'm like not really upset that that's who she ended up with. And when I was starting the show, I was like, oh, whatever. I know she doesn't end up with him. Like, I know everyone wanted it to be him, but it wasn't. But as I was watching it, I was like, oh, I see why people shipped them though, because they had really good chemistry and they were like really interesting together. And to top it all off, something very interesting, those two actors ended up dating for like 6 years. They recently broke up. It was a whole thing. It was very dramatic. But they dated for like 6 or 7 years. Like, they got together after this show and then were together for a long time. And it's very interesting that like they were shipped in the show and then they were shipped in real life and then they actually ended up together for a long time. But all of that to say, I didn't expect to like them as much as I did because I was already knew that she wasn't going to end up with him at any point. So I was like, whatever. And I don't know how many romantic moments she has with the guy that she does end up marrying, because they don't even get together until they're adults. Like, it's like a long time between their like actual, like when they were like, you know, hanging out all the time, and then they don't see each other for years, and then it happens. It's like this whole thing. And I've seen that scene a million times because a great confession scene. It's amazing. It's beautiful. All of that to say, I like the show. I'm enjoying it. I just wish that the characters weren't so mean to each other, and I don't really understand why that's the route the show went, because it's one of those shows where it's like, oh, even though we mess with each other, we love each other. And I'm like, I don't really like shows like that. Like, I don't really like a relationship where they're always mean to each other. And that was the other thing about the two of them, the couple that doesn't end up, that they don't ever date or anything, nothing ever happens, and he likes her and she maybe likes him down the line at some point, but we don't know. I'm not confirmed on that yet. But I don't like him in that sense, because I don't like, for one, I'm like, you never told her you liked her. You never stepped out. That is your own, I'm sorry, but that is your own fault. You never did anything about it. You could have done something about it so many times over, and you didn't. So you can't really blame anyone but yourself for that. And two, they had very much like the sunshine grumpy type of trope, whereas like he's like kind of always ragging on her and teasing her, and then she's always like whatever. And I'm like, you know, I don't always love that combination trope, because if it just feels like he's a bully all the time, oh, but he likes her. Okay, but he's mean. So why am I into that? And I'm like, at the end of the day, Tuck was the one that actually like, what's the word? Made a move, right? He was the one who actually like was a man about it and told her how he felt. And it's like, you can't really, like, I get why people are upset about that, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, but what's his face? Jungwon missed his chance. And I'll see how I feel about it later on in the show. Maybe I'll feel a little bit more for him. I can't lie, though. The edits of them go crazy. There was specifically this one edit I was thinking about that I was like, I remember saving this edit years ago before I watched the show. And I was like, that was such a good edit. And then I found it and I was like, yeah, the angst was crazy. It was very angsty. Anyways, it's pretty good. I like it. The next show. Okay, this one I'm so upset by. It's called Tastefully Yours. It was only 10 episodes and they ruined it. Basically, the show had this whole, like, it's one of those shows where, how do I I'm trying to just think if I even want to try to explain the plot itself, because it's kind of like, it's already going in a direction I don't want. I won't even get into the details of the plot itself, but basically all you need to know is it's doing this stupid thing where a character and another character do definitely like each other, and one confessed and was very forward with his feelings, but then the other one didn't really fully, like, acknowledge if she liked him, but then her ex comes into play and then ruins everything. And there's also this not a misunderstanding, but a secret that he has, that the main love interest has, that he didn't tell the female lead, and now when she finds out, she's going to be all betrayed and all mad, and then they're not going to communicate, and it's going to be a whole thing. And it's so dumb because I'm like, this show has only 10 episodes. Why are we throwing an ex in? Why are we throwing a secret in? Why are we throwing all these things up, like, in the plot when the show was already, like, 10 episodes? It's not long enough to have this much angst. And the show was very silly and very cute to begin with, and they had really cute chemistry, but now I'm just kind of out. I'm like, I don't really care anymore, because the last couple episodes kind of ruined their interactions, because now I have to deal with her finding out the secret that he was gonna try to, because she's like a chef, and he's like, I don't know, he's some businessman or whatever, and he was like gonna take all her recipes and steal, like, all her recipes essentially, because she's like a really good chef. But then of course he falls in love with her, and then it's whole thing. But it's just like, and she's going to find out now that was his original goal and whatever. Even though it's not the goal probably anymore, but whatever. I have mixed feelings about it. We'll see how the show ends. Let's just say that. Next show I'm watching, it's such a dumb name, Pump Up the Healthy Love. Now, I think I did talk about this show because I feel like I definitely talked about it, but I don't know if it's because I don't think I was watching it the last time I made this video. Maybe I was. I don't remember. Or last time I made a video, not the video. But basically it's about this girl who is very insecure about the way that she looks. She feels overweight. She's not overweight, of course, at all. The show tried to put a spin on it and be like, oh, she's really physically, like, she's, like, really weak, too. I'm like, no, girl, you just don't like anyone who's not a size 0. But that might be too soon for you, Korea. That might be too soon to hear that you just don't like overweight people. Anyways, her character is not overweight by really any means at all. She's probably just like an average Wayne person. But of course the show makes it out to be like she's like, 400 pounds. So anyways, she basically her ex breaks up with her because he didn't want to sleep with her because he just couldn't, as he said, he couldn't do it with her. And the implication is because of the way she looks, and it's so dumb because it's like she's literally, Anyways, so then she basically decides to, I think she somehow ends up at this gym. That's what I'm trying to get to. She ends up at this gym with this guy who's like a total fitness fanatic, like a total himbo, just dumb as heck, but so hot. So hot and so into fitness. And basically they just end up becoming, obviously the relationship is like they fall in love. However, this is only a 12-episode show. I'm on the last 2 episodes this Wednesday and Thursday will be the last 2 episodes. It has taken so long for anything to happen. And when I say anything, I mean actually technically nothing has happened. She didn't realize she really liked him until way later into the show. And now in the last 2 episodes is going to be finally when he's like realizing he likes her. In the grand scheme of a plot, it's more realistic because it took them the whole show to like each other. But if I'm watching a 12-episode show, I don't want to wait until episode 11 for something romantic to happen. And the show is very slapstick. It's very silly. So the show has followed this like very specific formula of it looks like he's doing something romantic. It looks like something romantic is going to happen, but it's not. And that has happened so many times. So it got to the point where it was like, are they ever actually going to kiss? Like, is anything ever actually going to happen? And in the preview of the next episode, she kisses him. So here's hoping, it's like very quick, it's like a peck, but it's like, here's hoping that that will lead into something. And as I said in episode 11, he's finally starting to like her too. And again, I guess it's realistic because it took forever, but it was like, I don't really want to watch a show that takes 12 episodes for them to just be like, yeah, I like you. But anyways, so that's that show. I like it. It's dumb, but it's really fun. It's a fun show. I would still recommend it. And I think in the grand scheme of the way that they depict someone being overweight and unhappy with their body, I guess it wasn't that bad. But I'm also never expecting Korea to properly represent someone who's struggling with their body image. So in a way that's not just like, oh, just lose the weight. Okay, whatever. It's fine. I never expect good representation, so it's fine. The next show I'm watching is called Our Unwritten Soul. Oh boy. Okay, this show. Let me see how I can explain it. It's about twins played by the same actress, but she plays two different characters, obviously. Very Parent Trap of her. And basically one twin in high school, she was going to be like a track and field star, but she ended up hurting her foot. And so she ended up kind of becoming, not like a bum, but like she kind of just kind of bebops around. She kind of just does her own thing. She works part-time jobs. She cleans at the school. She does this, she does that. She works in like in the fields and like strawberry fields, and like she plants and she farms and stuff like that. She's just does like random jobs. And then her sister was very like academically smart in school and got into, you know, a nice college and now has like this office job or whatever. But what ends up happening is the sisters, as they were growing up when they were kids, when one twin didn't want to do something and the other twin was good at that, doing that thing, they would switch. So they would like trade places and do the thing for the other twin that was hard for that twin to do. Okay. So the sister, who's like the little free-spirited one, basically finds out that her sister who works at the office is like majorly struggling. Like she's not okay. She's not okay. And so she's like, I see how hard you're struggling. Let's switch. I will do this hard job for you, which ends up being, while hard for her, is still infinitely less hard than what her sister's going through. And then her sister goes and basically lives as her, and she goes and starts farming on she starts working on a strawberry farm. It's actually very cute. So that's like the base plot, okay? And a big thing about the show is that only a few of the characters in the show can tell them apart. That's a very big part of it. Their mom can't even tell them apart. So she doesn't even realize that the sisters have switched. But there's presumably two love interests. So there's one that's like a childhood neighbor of the twins, and then there's another one he's the guy that owns the strawberry farm. Okay, so it's obviously him and that sister, right? And then the childhood friend is the one. It's, oh my gosh, I can't talk. The childhood friend, and then the sister that is the free-spirited one that now works at the office. Okay. They're so cute. Let me talk about that. They're adorable, and I need there to be more interactions between the two of them where there's an acknowledgement of feelings, because there's a lot of backstory when they were in high school that was like, there was something there. But then stuff happened, and actually the reason that she hurt herself when she was running was because she saw her sister hug the guy that she liked, that she was close with, and that's what caused her to stumble. That's a whole nother thing I have to unpack. And low-key, when I saw that scene, I was so ticked off at her sister and the guy, not as much at him because he didn't initiate it. He kind of just stood there and it happened. But I was so ticked off at the sister because I was like, that's your sister's, like, she likes him. And maybe the sister didn't know that, but I was like, I don't know. I'm sure there's an explanation of what was going on there, but they will explain why situations happened. But I was actually pretty ticked at that sister because I was like, girl, what the heck? Get off of her, man. But also I was like, it wasn't really anyone's fault. It's not like she was trying to do something to like mess her sister up. Like, it just was a situational thing. But anyways, yeah, so that's basically the story. Each just living each other's lives and trying not to get caught, you know? Also, oh my gosh, there was this one scene in like, it was like the second episode, but there's a scene where the sister that is like the free-spirited one who's pretending to be her sister who works at the office. That's just how I'm differentiating because it's easier. And she's talking to her childhood friend because he's a lawyer. And so they're like, they both are in Seoul. So they're both like close together or like nearby each other. And he's hearing the way she's like talking and she's like really enthusiastic and cheerful. And the sister that's like from like the free-spirited one is always have been more cheerful and whatever. And he's like, he said her name, not the sister's name, not the twin she's pretending to be, but he said her name. He's like, is that you? And then she was like, oh my gosh, she like knows it's me. But then she did this whole act where she was like, acted like she was mad at him because how could you think I'm my sister? But it's like, you know, deep down, she was like, oh my gosh, she knows it's me. And it was like, that was the whole theory of like, he was also one of the people that could tell the twins apart. A big deal. It's a very big deal. Anyways, so I'm watching that. I like it. It's Park Bo Young. She's like one of my favorite female actresses. She's so good. Everything she does, I always like her role. She just never misses. And then, oh, that was my tummy. I don't know if you heard that. Jin Young from Got7. He's an actor, or an idol turned actor. But I found him first as an actor, not as an idol. But he's one of the male leads, and I really love him. He's so cute. Okay, last show that I'm watching, and this is a show I just started. It's called Good Boy. I really like it. So basically it's about 4 or 5 athletes that were all like Olympic athletes in a different sport that are now like special forces on the like as police. And it's basically just their stories, and like some of them are intermingled, like, well, no, not some. They're all intermingled. They all know each other. There's all, like, some connection where they all, like, kind of know each other. So it's basically just them fighting crime and looking hot doing it. And, oh, my gosh. Speaking of Park Bo Gum, so he's the actor that I was talking about that's in Reply 1988. One of the actors that's in that I love. Oh, my gosh, I love him so much. He's so hot in this show. And I giggle and I clap every time because it's like I have seen him in a couple different shows, and most of the time he doesn't necessarily play like a sexy character. He's usually just like beautiful and gorgeous because he has, oh my gosh, I love him so much. He's so pretty. But he is so hot in this role, and I'm eating it up. Let's just say that. I am eating it up. It's so good. So anyways, I'm really enjoying that show. It's really fun. It's like a crime fighting show. It's like kind of intense. I don't know. I like it. I was going to talk about the one show that I finished, but genuinely I don't want to. And also I don't have that much to say about it because it was just the second season, and there was like parts that I really liked, but then there's other parts that I was like, it was just, you know, the same. Very similar to the first season. Like, there were some things that were different, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't really want to talk about it. So, okay, that's all I have to say. Okay, bye.